go out. It is Wednesday morning and I have to go to the hospital to do some blood work. So every 2 weeks on every second Wednesday, I go to the hospital and I have my blood test done. That's just basically to monitor my blood with the cancer, and because I'm doing chemo, just to make sure that everything is okay. So I gotta do that this morning, and then I'm heading over to my mom's to do some stuff over there. So I got a busy day ahead of me. Last night I fell asleep probably around 11 o'clock. I was so tired. I had to take my Oxy at 12:30 and I could not stay up. So I ended up taking my Oxy around 3:30 this morning, and I've kind of been up since about 3 o'clock. I'm actually tired, but I'm just going to try my best to keep going so that I can maybe have a little nap later, I don't know, and we'll be able to sleep soundly tonight, hopefully. Never works out that way, but I like to plan for that. So I wanted to take some time before I head out for the day to talk to you a little bit about something that, well, it's an embarrassing subject, maybe a bit of an uncomfortable subject, but it really has impacted my life. And so I want to share some of my tips and tricks, things that have worked for me, things that haven't worked for me, and just some of my own personal experiences and advice. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is just what has worked for me. I'm just a cancer patient who, through trial and error, has learned what works for me and what doesn't work for me. But we're going to talk about constipation. We're going to talk about
Pooping.
because let me tell you something. This has greatly, greatly, greatly impacted my life as a cancer patient and as somebody who uses opioids to control pain for pain management. My very first experience with constipation happened in 2013. It was actually December of 2013. I remember this because my dad was in the hospital. He actually passed away on December 26, 2013, and it was a couple of weeks before he passed away. And I was pretty upset because I had really wanted to go see him and ended up with severe pain on the right side of my abdomen. I remember the pain was excruciating, and I was at a point where I knew I should be going to the hospital. Something wasn't right, but I was fighting it because I wanted to see my dad. We didn't know how much time he had left, and I did not want to waste it sitting in emergency. I had not been diagnosed with cancer yet. I did not get diagnosed with cancer until May of 2014. So at this point, I didn't even know I had cancer. I did know I had lupus, so I thought I was having some sort of lupus attack. So I went and saw my dad at the hospital that day, and that night on the way home, my mom dropped me off at the hospital in our town. And I went in and I said, I think I'm having a lupus attack. They did some tests, x-rays, ultrasound, and I found out I was severely constipated. I ended up having to get morphine, and let me tell you, the pain was incredible. If you have ever been severely constipated, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And I ended up having to get morphine. I ended up having to get an enema, which was definitely not pleasant. And it cleaned me out. And I didn't really have any more issues with constipation until about a year ago. I would start getting constipated again. And I would take, I don't remember the name of it, but I will put the name here once I figure out what the name of it was. It's a natural laxative, and it's a stool softener, and I started taking that when I started my chemo again. For the most part, it worked. It really did. It wasn't until I started the Oxycontin that I started having severe constipation issues. We are talking severely impacted. And I, of course, now know it's because of the oxy. Opiates have the tendency to severely, severely constipate you. It is so, so, so important that you use stool softeners every single day. So these are the products that I use. And I can't remember the name of it, but here's the name here. I use them every day. I generally take 2 tablets in the morning, 2 tablets at night, but if I'm finding that I'm really constipated, I'll kick that up to 4 tablets in the morning and 4 tablets at night. According to the label, the maximum that you can take in a 24-hour period is 8 tablets, and when I'm severely constipated, I will use the 8 tablets. The other product that I use daily, and I use it generally twice a day, once in the morning and once at night, but again, if I'm severely constipated, I will do it 3 times a day, every 8 hours, and that is the Restoralax. Now, I have been using, to save some money, the Walmart Equate brand it's called Clearlax. It's the cheap version of Restoralax, and it works just as well. And what this does is it helps to relieve occasional constipation. It softens the stools. But I want to note that you can actually become dependent on this. So you need to really talk to your doctor and see if this is a good option for you or not. I have to use it every day. If I don't go. I become impacted, and the consequences are extreme for me. So I'd rather just have to use this every day. And to be truthful, the Oxycontin is probably something I'm going to be using for the rest of my life. So it's constantly going to be an issue for me. So I use this. I don't know, there's a really weird squeaking sound that I've never heard before. I better go check this out.
Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, nice and loud, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Very loud. 2 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. How many's left? One little monkey jumping on the bed. He fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, put those monkeys straight to bed. All right, let's do our mommy songs. Are you guys ready? Ready?
So I checked out the squealing noise, and it's my fridge. It sounds like it's my freezer. So I have to let my landlord know today because I think my freezer is going. Yeah, so it's really annoying. But anyway, so yeah, I do recommend that you talk to your doctor, and I have found that this product has really worked well for me. The other thing that I use, and I'm going to tell you the little story behind this. It's so embarrassing, but I think it's really, really important to share this with you. A few weeks ago, I ended up being so impacted that when I tried to have a bowel movement, literally the stools were sitting at my anal opening. What am I going to call this?
The poop chute?
It was sitting there and just would not come out. I was so constipated that the stools were dehydrated. And I literally had to get it out. I could feel a bulge in my anal area. And so my mom went out and she got me this product, and it is called Microlax. So it's a tiny little enema. And what it says on here is that it is for constipation relief. It's a micro enema. And I'm going to show you what the bottle looks like. So this is what it looks like. So you take that little cap thing off, you twist it off, and you insert it into the rectum. And then you squeeze the contents out. You have to hold it in there for 5 to 15 minutes, and then you're going to go for a bowel movement. I keep a box of these at all times. It comes in a pack of 4, and they are a little bit expensive. I think they're around $16 for 4 of them. That's here in Canada. So I keep this box in my bathroom. And when I need to use it, I'll use it. The box says you can use up to 2 at a time. I haven't had to do that yet. One has generally worked for me, but it's a lot better than having to manually dig out the stool. Trust me. I also keep a little box with gloves and Vaseline, and I use the Vaseline on the stick part that goes inside the rectum. I use a lubricant, and I keep that, and I lubricate it before I insert it. I have literally spent hours sitting on the toilet trying to go, and it is not pleasant. First of all, you're already not feeling well. You have cancer. You don't feel good. You're already feeling sick, and then you have to deal with constipation on top of that. And I know it's embarrassing. I know that it's a subject we don't like to talk about, but it really is part of this cancer journey, especially if you take opiates like Oxycontin, Tylenol, 3s with codeine. If you take methadone, if you take morphine, you probably more than likely are going to experience or have some kind of experience with constipation. You need to also make sure that you're keeping yourself fluid. I personally do not like drinking water. I never have. So what I do is I make myself green teas throughout the day, and I try to keep myself hydrated that way. I also drink a lot of iced tea, and I really enjoy that. So I do get my water, just not in its pure form, which of course is the best form for you. But it's better a little something than nothing, right? You also need to make sure you're eating enough fiber. Beans, dark green leaves like spinach, lettuce, kale, those kind of things. You need to add those into your diet. And you need to make sure that you are, consuming them regularly. We don't eat enough fiber. I am not much of a bread person. The only pasta that I like is like spaghettini, very small pastas. But pastas, breads, doughs, those kind of things can also bung you up. You need to avoid certain foods, especially when you're experiencing the constipation. One of them is cheese, and I love cheese. I'm a die-hard cheese fan. And I will a lot of times just grab a slice of Swiss cheese for a snack. And I have to try to avoid them. Some people will find milk products will constipate them. I actually find milk products help me go, but some people may find milk products constipate them. So you have to learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But those are my suggestions, and really, if you're starting to experience constipation and you have cancer or illness and you're taking pain medications, or other medications can constipate you as well, not just pain medications, see your doctor, get their advice, and make sure you stay on top of it, because constipation or being severely impacted can be extremely painful and life-threatening. So this is something that we have to stay on top of. So I'm going to get ready to head out the door for the day, and I will see you guys later. Tonight, probably when I get back. Have a good day. So if you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and until next time guys, happy living!